Republican congressmen closely affiliated with the Trump campaign are leveraging the anxiety around Election Day to send out threatening text messages to people in the state of Indiana. I'm sure it's going on in other states across the country, but I just received this breaking news text that was just sent out on election morning, and I want to break it down for you guys because we have a lot to do today. I was almost going to say the election is in 2 days, but the election is now. The election is happening now, and we'll be doing a live stream later on to break everything down. First, I want to break down how the two candidates have started off the day. Kamala Harris posted early on in the morning, "Election day is here. Today, we vote because we love our country and we believe in the promise of America. Make your voice heard. IWillVote.com." And it's a website that shows you how you can vote. I'm a resident of Indiana or Illinois or wherever you are. And then you can find a drop-off location. It's absolutely perfect. Make sure you go leverage this tool. Meanwhile, Donald Trump said, "It is now officially Election Day. This will be the most important day in American history. Voter enthusiasm is through the roof because people want to make America great again. That means lines are going to be long. I need you to deliver your vote no matter how long it takes. The radical communist Democrats want you to pack up and go home." I mean, this sentence right here is a microcosm of the entire MAGA movement and of Donald Trump's apocalyptic rhetoric. The Democrats don't want you to go home. Kamala Harris just said, go out there and vote. Make sure your voice is heard because we love our country. We aren't communists. None of us are communists. I mean, maybe some people, but the communists generally don't vote for Kamala Harris. They are farther left. They don't believe in the system. And none of us are radical by any means. We just want healthcare, man. Together, we are going to have a tremendous victory and make America great again. I don't know about that because you have people like Mike Pence saying stuff like this.
I want the American people to know that I had no right to overturn the election. And that on that day, President Trump asked me to put him over the Constitution, that I chose the Constitution, and I always will. Anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be President of the United States. And anyone who asks someone else to put themselves over the Constitution should never be President of the United States again. What the President maintained that day, and frankly has said over and over again over the last 2.5 years, is completely false. I dismissed it out of hand, but sadly the President was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear.
Pence says it so perfectly right there. Mike Pence says it perfectly. He surrounded himself with a bunch of crackpot lawyers that told him what his itching ears wanted to hear. I mean, that is Mike Pence coming out and saying Donald Trump is a threat. Now, I want to break down this text, but first, as we head into this election, I keep getting comments like, I've been watching you for so long. I've been watching you for a while, but I didn't realize that I never even subscribed. So make sure you subscribe below. It is free, and we will continue growing this pro-democracy community far after the election. I promise you. I want to forget about Trump for a while. Maybe we'll cover the Trump trials months and months down the road, but I want to cover Kamala's policies. I want to cover her new administration. I want to cover how we can go forward. So, Mike Braun, a senator from Indiana, sent out this text today. I got this off of a Reddit thread. It says, "Trump needs you. Polls are open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And this is what it reads. It is quite ominous, quite threatening. Quote, voting records are public. Your friends, neighbors, and family will know if you stood with Trump when it mattered most. Blah, blah, blah. This is Sydney with the Indiana GOP. Tomorrow is Election Day. Your last chance to make a difference. Whether or not you vote is public, and your community will see if you stood with Trump or stayed home. Don't let your community down, don't let your country down when our future is on the line." This is already so oddly threatening. Voting records are public, it leads off with. Your friends, neighbors, and family will know. I like how it implies that they'll know who you voted for. It just tells you whether or not somebody's voted in the past few elections, and even that isn't always quite accurate. Tomorrow is Election Day, your last chance to make a difference. Whether or not you vote is public, and your community will see if you stood with Trump or stayed home. Don't let your country down when our future is on the line. Make a plan to vote tomorrow and send a strong message by voting straight ticket Republican to keep Indiana safe from the radical left and support Trump's vision for America. The person then responded, "Wow, way to fearmonger." So after this person said, "Wow, way to fearmonger," the campaign sent one more message that was a little bit less threatening. Trump needs you today. Polls are open. Today is election day. If you stay home and don't vote, your friends, neighbors, and family will know that you missed the most important election of our lifetime. It doesn't say the part about voting records being public. That is some weird, scary stuff. It reminds me of that one sheriff that said, make sure you write down the addresses of any houses that have Kamala Harris signs. Quote, this is Sydney with the Indiana GOP. Today is election day. Your last chance to make a difference. Whether or not you vote is public. Oh, they say it again. And your community will see if you stood with Trump or stayed home. They then said, the person that got this text said, yeah, you lost my vote when you threatened to unveil my voting records this morning. Absolutely insane, absurd stuff. And the purpose of this video is not to fearmonger. I fully believe that every single person watching this video can go out and vote today and you will have no problems whatsoever. You're not going to get threatened. The polls are safe. Please go vote. Bring your friends and family to vote. But the broader point I want to make here is that Donald Trump has instigated this new level of rhetoric. We're constantly using these thinly veiled threats saying your friends and family will know, and if Kamala wins, Trump still won't concede. He will say that he won. It reminds me a lot of this. Local sheriff, write down all the addresses of Kamala supporters. Again, I'm not trying to fearmonger. There's no reason to be scared, but this stuff is wild. A local sheriff is making headlines after a controversial social media post. In a post on Saturday from his Facebook page, Portage County Sheriff Bruce Zukowski appeared to encourage people to write down the addresses for supporters for Democratic candidate Kamala Harris. This is the person who is supposed to enforce law and order in Portage County, Ohio, and he is the one that is taking it away. Thankfully, we have people like this, men voting for Kamala.
Who did you vote for today?
I voted for Kamala Harris.
Why is that?
I have 3 daughters, 4 children overall, and women's rights is pretty important to them and my daughters. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional about that. I didn't think that I was going to do that, but, just their bodies, their choice type of a mentality. I want them to grow up in a world that's welcoming to everybody. That's why I cast my vote today.
Man, what a great man. I kind of like the unexpected emotion where he's like, man, I didn't expect to get super emotional there as he's talking about how much he loves his family. You don't realize what's at stake until you just cast your ballot.
4 children overall, and women's rights is pretty important to them and my daughters. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional about that. I didn't think that I was going to do that, but
damn, what a great, great guy. And we have these 2 voters right here.
Will you vote in the presidential election?
Yes. Yes.
Can I ask who you vote for?
Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Were you Democrats before, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Lifelong? Yeah.
I'm a Republican.
You're a Republican. And you're going the other way?
Yes.
Why?
Because she behaves more like a human.
She behaves more like a human. That's a great, great reason. Great reason. And I just want to finish this article. Zukowski used his Facebook page to update residents on community events, crime, and his political fundraisers. The sheriff's office stated it is Zukowski's personal campaign account. Quote, write down all the addresses of the people who had her signs in their yards. A post on the page reads, and this was available about a month ago, but I clicked on it. It says the content isn't available right now. This is how we do it. We make sure that these people aren't emboldened. If we get out and vote, someone like that won't be emboldened, and it seems like people are. This article from today reads, Iowa polls, independent women, and it rattles Trump supporters. The latest Des Moines Register poll showing skyrocketing enthusiasm for VP Harris among Iowa's independent women set off alarm bells for former President Trump and his allies as both parties seek to rally their bases and drive turnout. And listen, if you're debating whether or not Kamala Harris is going to win Iowa, if Iowa's going to go blue or red because of that poll, you're missing the broader point of the poll. The broader point of the poll is that there are these unseen, invisible trends among women in the Midwest, hopefully women in the blue wall states who want to turn out en masse, both independent women and elderly women. J. Ann Seltzer has a great, great reputation. In 2020, I was reading threads from when she released her results. Everybody said, you're crazy, Ann Seltzer is crazy, Trump's not going to win Iowa by 7 or 8 points. Boom, Trump wins Iowa by 7 or 8 points. Biden still wins. Ann Seltzer was totally right. So the broader point is, if we go out and vote, if we mobilize, if you do it, we can bring this home and the nightmare of Donald Trump can be over. We're all going to experience it tonight together. Have a great day. Peace out.